Hello and welcome again to
Growth Academy. So, hi guys, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jenny.
Jenny's here as well. And we wanted to talk about self-compassion. This is something I'm really so into. I think it's changed my life. If I think back to when I was at 18, all I did was beat myself up mentally, criticize myself, chastise myself. But it did have a good side, which was I worked hard and did stuff. But you can do both. And I'd love to talk about self-compassion today. Jenny, what are some of your thoughts?
A couple of compassion. Well, self-compassion. That's should come automatically when you're growing up in a functioning family. If you're growing up in a dysfunctional family, you may not have a lot of it. And what we don't know when we're little, we get taught lots of things. Say please, say thank you, use your manners, wash your face and hands.
Mm-hmm.
We get taught a lot of things, but we don't get taught, and don't forget to love yourself. Even though it might not feel like mummy and daddy love you all that much, you make sure you continue to love yourself. And that is a lesson that we should have known right from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thought.
Because everybody makes mistakes. So if you make mistakes, it's not as if there's you making a mistake and everyone else is perfect. It's part of being human. It's part of being a person. We all stuff up from time to time. It's what you do about it that matters. So, yeah, I had a bit of a reaction when you were talking about that, Jenny. Like, growing up, you should have it. I had a bit of a... Because...
PSD! Sinking in. No! Not the strap or the wooden spoon. Oh, what? Dad's too busy again.
I'm sorry, I dropped
Lots
the
of
plate,
people will have, lots of people will have this.
Anyway, but I'm grateful that I've learnt this skill. I think I was reading in a book one day that it said, okay, you know, take a situation in your life that you're a bit unhappy about and then you're thinking about. If that was your best mate, if that was a friend, what would you say? How would you, support them? And that changed my psychology. So sort of, instead of, because, naturally just beating myself up, like I could be nice to other people, but, me, oh, I didn't do this and I didn't do that and that was wrong and I stuffed up here. And instead of that, it was like, okay, if that was happening to a friend, what would I think? Oh, well, I'd probably say, gee, you're having a tough time of it right now. Massively changed my whole thinking.
So you're saying you started treating yourself in the way that you would treat someone you care about.
Right.
Because self-compassion that's what it's about. It's about caring and loving yourself as much as you do your dearest.
Yeah.
Because often, we will look at another person and go, oh my God, she's having such a hard time. I feel so sorry. What can I do for her? But when I'm having a hard time, sometimes I will just say to myself, idiot, why did I do that?
Why did you do that? You idiot. Get your act together.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Right. So that's what self-compassion's about. It's about treating yourself with a lot of care. And
I think Susan Jeffers said it something as well. She said, I think it was her, my fault if I'm wrong, which is like, treat yourself like your own best friend instead of thy own worst enemy.
Yeah, and there's something like that in the Bible as well. This goes down to, how in our introductory video we talked about how we were going to align up all the philosophers over the ages. Going back to the Bible, it says, love thy neighbour as you should love thyself.
Yes.
There were words, something along that line.
Yep.
I'm not as,
and then the Buddhism thing happened as well,
Yes.
Compassion for this being,
and that we
as
are,
you,
yes,
as
we
well
are part
as
of the
other
universe.
beings.
That's
Yeah,
right.
if we have compassion for other beings, we're included in that. Yeah. So you're included in that. Have compassion for yourself.
So what are some ways that we know we don't have compassion? And if I was going to say to you, Amanda, I think I do love myself. What are the key things or the clues that we could recognise about ourselves if we do or don't have compassion for ourselves?
For me, what it was is, it's actually not as easy to see because a lot of this is the thinking. So I've got up here the self-talk. It's all in your head. So I wouldn't say out loud, Amanda, you stupid idiot, you didn't do this, this, and this. But in my brain, I was.
Mm.
So it's.
I'd say
it's
that. I'd go,
hidden.
Jenny, you flipwit. You flippin' idiot.
You flipping idiot? Did you
You
use it? Did you use
flippin'
that word?
floppin' fruitcake.
I think with me, it was in my brain. But you
Doesn't
can.
talk about anything really. This is good therapy for us because Amanda's talking out loud.
I do. I'm a thinker. I know. I keep it in. That's a strategy that has saved my life. Jenny.
That's the thing. There's extrovert, introvert.
Yes, I'm an introvert. Yeah.
I'm an extrovert.
You are, yeah. I love that about you. And yeah. So how would you see it? So you would say, you know, if you saw self-compassion, it'd be like, oh, I made a mistake. Everybody makes a mistake. I can, you know, fix that. I can remedy that. It's no big deal. Or if it is a big deal, I will get other people to help me and I will overcome this problem as well.
Self-talk comes under too. Can I
go for
intervene
it.
there? Sorry, I just want to say that something's come to mind. Self-talk also sounds like I should have, I shouldn't have. I have to, I haven't.
In my 20s, I came across this thing that said, don't should all over yourself. Have you heard that?
No.
I
love that.
it.
It's like saying don't shit all over yourself.
Exactly.
Don't shit all over
Don't
yourself.
should all over
I
yourself.
love it. Do not shit all over yourself. This
Absolutely.
is the key message of this particular video.
Mm-hmm. Because also,
I love that.
if it's happened in the past, you've got no control over it anyway.
It's
It's
about
done.
Forget
It's done.
it.
It's finished.
It's done.
How do you move forward? What are you going to do to remedy that
You've only
situation?
got now. So don't even say, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, don't say tomorrow I'm going to be better. No. Today, I'm awesome. Today, I'm doing what I'm meant to do.
True.
Right now, I'm
In
doing
that
what I'm meant to
present
do in that
moment,
very present moment.
That's where all your energy
in
is.
the now.
That's where all your possibility is. Or your potential. I don't
Yeah,
know.
so should
Or your
should
power.
also
Or
be-
your power is in the moment.
power is in the present.
Yep.
And those I should have or I shouldn't have or whatever, don't should all over yourself. I love that.
Don't shoot all over yourself.
Can't. Oh, that's a deadly one. That's poison. I can't. I can't. If somebody asks you to do something you're not comfortable with, you don't say I can't. Just forget the word can't. Can't shouldn't even be in the dictionary. It should be like I won't do that. I will not do the thing you're asking me because I don't feel right about it.
I just had a flashback. When I was in year 6, you know, the teacher had asked me something and I'd say I don't know. And he said, you do know. Like, I forget how he phrased it. He might have said something like, there's no such thing as I don't know. Or I forget how he phrased it, but it was like, there is I don't know.
There's
You
no such
do
thing as
know.
can't.
You do know.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as can't.
Mm.
Like, there's legitimate potential issues. There's legitimate potential obstacles, but it's not, there's no full blocks, is there? There's no...
So that's the thing they don't teach at school. Remember in our first video, Amanda, in our introductions, we said we want to teach what we can't teach at school, or we don't teach. I guess the word can't again, or we're not allowed to teach at school.
Yes.
One of those things that we've got a curriculum at school. Teachers have a curriculum, and there are certain things that must be taught. And how we teach them is up to us. Hopefully it's diverse and it's fun, and it reaches all different learning types in the classroom. We do our best to do that. But the thing that we really want people to, young people to know while we're doing this video here is not to shoot all over yourself. The negative self-talk is poison to yourself. You might as well just fill yourself up full of drugs, because it is a nasty drug, but it's a word drug. It's a nasty, nasty drug. And it doesn't let you off the hook. It just makes things shit times worse. But I was getting to a point and I've completely forgotten about it, what it is now.
Will it come back to you?
Maybe it will, I don't know, you better talk for a while.
Maybe it'll come back to you. It's so foundational, self-compassion, because it works in the workplace, it works with family, it works with friends, it works with, you know, you're in the kitchen and you drop a cup. It works in all of those different varieties.
I just remembered getting through blocks. So you know how
Jenny is the block dissolver. You have got that skill. I love it.
So, you know, a lot of
Getting
people
through blocks.
spend their days doing the things that they do, and they get very comfortable in what they do. You know, they go down the street and they come back and they do this and that, and their routine is, you know, get up, sweep the floor, go to work, come home, do whatever they do, right? Now, the idea of going overseas, that is so far-fetched, I can't believe how that can ever be done. Okay, or writing a book, I don't know how that can be done. Or whatever the block might be.
How could I change career? That's impossible.
Yeah, exactly.
How could I
All
buy a
these
house?
things.
That's impossible.
Right. And so one of the things I think it's really important to teach young people in school, starting right at primary school and home, is if you think you can't, then all you're doing is looking at an obstacle that's in the way.
Have you also heard that saying, if you think you can't, you're right?
Yeah, and that's
like that self-fulfilling
right. You've just
prophecy.
done is you've just cancelled your ability to do it.
Yep.
Where in fact you can do anything that you want. And my son gave me a book the other day to read. It's called The Obstacle is the Way. I can't remember who it's by, but it's really, really good.
The obstacle
Is the way. So you've got to find your way through. I mean, Amanda teaches math. Miss, I can't do this.
Oh, math.
You just need to learn the formula. I will show you how, and then you can do this. You actually can. You just need to get through the obstacle. What's the obstacle? You don't know the formula yet. Let me give you the formula so that you break through that obstacle. The obstacle is no longer there.
You're the
And that's
obstacle
with-
dissolver.
And that's with all learning and all changes and doing everything.
I just wanted to say, when you said the obstacle is the way, that's Buddhism thing. Suffering leads you to the path.
To the where?
The path.
Or to the path of enlightenment.
The
yeah.
path.
Mm.
You know, because suffering gives you that motivation to go, I don't like feeling crap. What am I going to do? What things can I explore?
How can I negotiate? What do I need to dump?
Suffering leads you to the path. That's the grace. The grace. Have you heard? I love that word, the grace of it. Because bad things will happen to us. We know this. This is life. But find the grace within it, which is, it leads you to deeper spiritual fulfillment, I think.
And I can tell you about a monk who had a bucket of water, and every day he would walk about 10 k's to bring a bucket of water to the abbey. And he would walk this long pathway, and he'd get to the well and he'd fill the bucket up full of water. The bucket had a hole in it though. And he would walk back along the pathway to the abbey, and there'd only be a little bit of water left in the bucket, but it was enough for them to wash their hands, wash their face, or get a glass of water. And he would walk that track very regularly to fill up the only bucket that they had that had a hole in it. Couldn't be fixed. They tried lots of ways and they couldn't fix it. So they just settled with fact this bucket will do what it needs to do. They've got faith in the bucket with the hole in it. It did get them water eventually, and it gave them exercise to walk down there. And one day they were walking along the path, and then they noticed all along the path, all these flowers are coming up and blooming. And it turned into the most beautiful walking path they'd ever seen. It was because the hole in the bucket where the water was leaking out nurtured the earth. And so where it was dry and barren, it was now green and colourful with life, bursting with life.
Beautiful.
So that's the suffering is the way. That's another graceful way of saying that, you know, the obstacle is the way. Understand that these things are put in front of you to work through, not to stop you.
Yeah, I think there's something you've cultivated that, blocks don't block you. That you have resilience or some strategies where it's not as if you're blind to the obstacles, but they don't stop you. Because it's almost like your vision is bigger than the obstacle. You know, your vision of like, I'm going to make this happen, I'm going to get my degree, I'm going to get a job, I'm going to go overseas, I'm going to get a house. And there's something about Jenny, this special lady, that the blocks dissolve. It's like magic. It's not magic, but it feels like magic when you watch her work.
And it really, the bigger the obstacle, the bigger the block, if you want to call it a block, you know, if you know that there's an obstacle there, because the first thing you'll think is, I can't do it. oh, I shouldn't do it, or I shouldn't have done that, or I can't. Can't is the operative. The can't is exactly the thing that's saying to you, oh, there's an obstacle in the way. Now you don't just go, oh, there's an obstacle in the way, I'm doomed, I can't do this, this is never going to happen, nothing's going to change, I'm going to stay here. No, you go, obstacle, excellent, what a challenge. How am I getting over it? How am I getting through it? How am I getting around it? How am I getting under it? How am I going to smash it? Right? So that you can get to the other side. And I can tell you, the bigger the obstacle, the more rewarding and the greater you feel once you've smashed through it. It's so rewarding and so enlightening and so empowering to get through an obstacle. I swear it really is the way to go. So there's no shoulds, no shouldn't over you, no can't over you.
Yeah.
The obstacle is like, find it, go there. And so your self-talk should be all about how you are empowered. There's an obstacle, there's a wall. The words shouldn't and can't have come up. You know that's an obstacle on the wall, that's your key. Now you've got to work out how you're going to get round and get through it. Because
what
that's
resources
what it's there.
do I have? What things are available to me? Who can help me?
Mm-hmm.
What other things are on my side? And sometimes they're obvious and sometimes they're not.
But you find a way.
You
find it's your job to find a way. And that comes into self-care now.
Self-care, I think it's so important. Like, I think it's Julia Cameron said in her book, treating myself like a precious object will make me strong. And it seems counterproductive. It seems illogical. And yet...
How does it seem illogical?
Well, how can you be strong from looking after yourself? You know, aren't we taught, you know, be tough, be strong, be firm, work hard. We're not taught, oh, look after yourself. Treat yourself like a precious object. You know, treat yourself delicately. We're not taught that. And yet, we're
all very precious beings and we should be treated as such. And some of the things that you can do for self-care are...
I was thinking of, sorry, it's not along what were you saying, where the little bud comes up and no one goes, oh, that's not a flower, and stomps on it. The little bud comes up and you go, grow. And it's kind of like, do that for yourself.
Watering can.
Do that for yourself.
Fertilizer.
So self-care. Well, what are things? Sometimes the little things are the big things. Do you take, the other day I was walking into work and I took 5 seconds, 10 seconds to look up at the gum trees. And that was a little bit of self-care. I could have just walked straight into work. No one would have known any different. But that 10 seconds, it just feeds my soul.
So there's little things like that. And there's also things like sitting at the beach or watching the sunset. And have yourself a symbol. Like some people will have a rainbow, I have birds, some people have trees, some people will have flowers. Every time they see them, they remind themselves of how much they're loved by the world, how much they love themselves. So every time I see a bird now, I smile. Not just because they're a beautiful being on the planet, but because they remind me also of how much love is in the world, right? And how much I'm loved. So every time you see a rainbow, if that's your choice, every time you see a spider, if that's your thing, every time you see something, choose something to remind yourself how loved you are.
Yeah.
There's those little things, like maybe give yourself a foot spa, put your feet in a spa and nurture them, massage your own feet, paint your own toenails, clip your toenails, whatever you need to do. Get some moisturiser in them afterwards, pat dry them, okay, and really go, well, how great is that? There's those little things. Yeah. Brush your hair forever, you know, whatever you need to do to give yourself some self-care. Make sure you've got a hat, look after your skin in the sun, all those physical things. But there's those physical things, but there's also the things that Amanda was talking about, which is an emotional self-care, hugging a tree, you know, listening to bird song. Bird song brings me so much joy, and it is nurturing to my soul. Yeah. Getting out in the earth is nurturing to your soul. That is how you self-care. And there's also bigger things, and I can't remember what they are.
I'm
I had them before,
I'm
but
thinking big things. You know, good nutrition.
there's those
You
things
know,
as well.
How much sleep you get.
Mm,
I'm trying to think of, well, you know, reasonable exercise.
mm.
I personally don't want to overdo it because it stresses me out, but you know, yeah, looking after yourself in that way. Is that what you were sort of thinking?
Yes. So there's that physical care with your exercise and what food you put in, because your food does alter your mood. So keep an eye on that. Be mindful of what food does to your body and how it makes you think and feel. Be mindful of how much sleep are you getting, enough sleep. Be mindful of the exercise that you get, even if it's just a little walk a day. If you've got an animal, a dog, there's your thing. Both you get some walk, and both, if you can do it on a beach or a dog park, you get some social time as well.
Yeah.
So do those things, but there are bigger things again too. Choose your friends wisely.
Oh, true.
Choose your friends wisely. This is really important for self-care and self-talk, self-compassion. I will not spend time with people that will judge me, put me down, make me feel bad about myself in any way, cause me any stress, or I find that suck the energy of the life out of me. I don't spend time around people that are energy battery drainers. I'll call them battery drainers, okay? Because they're not good for me. And sometimes, you know, if you want to get to a place of peace within yourself, you need to surround yourself with people that make you feel good about yourself, or help you to feel good about yourself, that don't judge you, that let you be you and let you shine without judgment.
That's really, really important.
So that's another big thing. You know, so it's environmental, and it's what people you've got around you, and it's being aware of the animals down to the insects in the ground. It's listening to the birds, it's listening to the water trickle over the rocks. This is self-compassion. What you say to yourself and others, self-talk, listening to yourself, don't shit all over yourself, and self-care, taking care of yourself. Do you want to sum all that?
Oh, you did such a
Amanda?
beautiful job with that. So my wish for you is that you have compassion for yourself. And if it's hard, because when you first start, there can be a backlash in your brain that goes, oh, that self-care stuff is stupid, or you're selfish. As much as you can, let that go, let it go, look after yourself, be kind to yourself. Out of all the people you will ever meet, the only person who won't leave you is you. Yes, that's my wish for you.
Well, that's a lovely way to end this session. Thanks, Amanda, and thank all of you for joining us here at the Growth Academy with us. We really love being able to have this conversation in front of you. Amanda and I love talking about all kinds of things, and it's just nice that we now document it, our conversations.
I love it.
We really enjoy it. We've got our Ikigai right here. I hope you
Yes.
find yours too.
Yes, I hope you find yours. Bye-bye.
Bye.